We've all been in the situation where we're dying to work on our surfing, but the conditions just stink. I was just in this situation last week, so I decided to make this video to explain how to get the most out of mediocre waves. After you watch this video, you might find yourself surfing in poor conditions more often. You'll notice last week that I did not post a video. What I did instead was I spent a lot of time trying to figure out which direction I'm taking this channel. The combination of not editing a surf video and the conditions just not being great was quite frustrating. So I decided to take a chance on a day that was forecasted to be just so-so, and when I got to the beach, it was just so-so. It wasn't great. The waves were looking pretty weak, it was very windy. On a normal day, I probably would have just turned around and went home, but Chris the drone pilot was already on his way, so I just decided to go for it, and I'm glad I did. Let's analyze this session, and I'll give you my top 3 tips on how to get the most out of subpar waves and still make it worth it. Tip number 1 is to have a goal in mind. If your goal is to just go out and have fun surfing, you're probably going to frustrate yourself. However, if you have something specific you want to work on, depending on what it is, you can most likely work on it in less than ideal waves. For this session, I just decided to work on my first 2 cross steps and see if I can make them just a little bit more stable. Which brings us right into tip number 2. Make sure a section of wave exists that's good enough to work on your goal. Since all I was working on today was my first 2 cross steps, I only needed the wave to wall up for about 2 or 3 seconds. However, sometimes the conditions are so bad that you can't even do that. However, that still doesn't mean you shouldn't go out. If your goal is to work on pop-ups, you don't need the wave to wall up much at all. If you're working on paddling, you don't even need waves. Just go out when it's flat, work on building up your paddling strength and your paddling technique. There's so many skills in surfing that we don't need great waves to work on, so if you're serious about improving, go out and improve. Tip number 3 is you have to learn to adapt to the conditions. Full disclosure, I wanted to get all 4 steps in this session, and once I got out in the water, I quickly realized 4 steps wasn't going to happen all that often, so I switched to 2 steps. In the end, if I couldn't even get 2 steps in, I probably would have gone home. You'll quickly realize that as you improve at surfing, you'll start to become a little bit more picky when it comes to the waves. As a beginner to an intermediate surfer, you really want to be getting out in the water as much as possible, even if the waves aren't that great. Surfing is a tough sport that really doesn't come quickly to anybody. That's why you gotta watch this video next where I explain how to improve as efficiently as possible. Thanks for watching, and a huge thanks to everyone who participated in the polls that I was posting. It was quite eye-opening.